Okay, so about a month ago now, I got a request from someone who wanted to know how to properly deadlift, or if I could make a quick video on how to deadlift. So I kind of blew it. It's like a month and a half later, but here's that video. With my clients, if you are one of my clients, you know I constantly preach that if there's one lift you're going to do for the rest of your life, if you're on a desert island and some dude's only going to let you lift one barbell movement, whatever, it's got to be your deadlift. It's the biggest movement we can do that humans are capable of, really. I mean, you can get some big squats up there, but the deadlift is a big movement for your average gym goer. It's going to be your biggest movement. So we get almost every muscle group in our body involved in this lift, with the exception of perhaps maybe your chest, your biceps maybe. Everything else is pretty active in this movement. So that's the reason why it's so important. So I'm going to show you what this lift is going to look like. First and foremost, you might not be able to see it from my angle because the bumper plates are on the end of this plate, but we're always going to start with our bar touching our shins. So if you've ever seen someone who does deadlifts a lot or does it competitively, you'll see their shins are just cut up. So sometimes people will use long socks when they do this movement. You'll also see, speaking of socks, I'm not wearing shoes. If you're in a gym that's going to let you not wear shoes, like here on fitness, you can take your shoes off. It's going to let you apply more force to the ground instead of losing some of that to your sole. So you can barefoot deadlift as well, so that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to start with that bar nice and tight to our shins. Nice good posture. You might have heard top down, getting ready for your deadlift. That means we start in the top position, we get our core nice and tight, we get our shoulders rolled back nice and tight, everything is tight, posturally sound, before we go down and pick that bar up. We're going to drop down, that bar is going to be on my shins, my hands are going to be just outside my knees, so my elbows are almost touching my knees here, and if you have a mirror, you're going to look up towards the top of that mirror. If you look at my back right now, we're nice and straight, and I'm just going to basically drag that bar along my shins, along my quads to the top. At the top, push your hips through, try and break that bar across your hips, and puff your chest out. Then we bring it down the exact same way, scraping our legs the entire time. So the number one thing we see people doing wrong with the deadlift, when they first start picking it up, is their butt will rise well before the rest of their body comes up. So we want our joint angle of our knee and our hips to be opening at the same time. So instead of up, lift, we're going to drive up, lead with our chest. That's probably our most common mistake. Next common mistake, just not having that bar tight to our shins when we get ready. Having it tight to our shins, going to have our lats engaged right before we pick it up off the ground. Everything's going to be tight. Because it is our biggest lift, most weight we can use, you need to be tight or you're going to get injured. So if you don't feel comfortable with this movement, link up with a professional, come in here even if it's just for a session or two. We'll walk you through it and you'll have a good deadlift.